Do 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 do. Oh, we're on the air. Oh, okay. So it's time to time to rise and shine. Okay, that means it is time to get. It's time to get out of bed. But I'm just going to sit here until at least I get. I mean, no sense wasting all this talent with nobody's there. So I got to at least wait till one person gets there. I mean, so I can, you know, be at my best. Okay, I'm just saying, we need somebody to come on here and say hello or something. Oh, there we got. Okay, the first lucky person is from Facebook. We appreciate that. We appreciate you coming on, and then everybody else comes later. But we got to be able to talk to somebody else. People gonna think I'm sitting here talking to myself. Okay, and that's not true. Anyway, good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and it's time to rise and shine. Okay, it really, really, really is. It's time to get up. Time to thank God for one more day above the ground, rather than the ground being above you. Ah, so let's get ready. I can't use let's get ready to rumble because they use that in the WWE. So let's get ready to talk about some things. I know what's on everybody's mind this morning. I know what it is, and we'll get to that. It not only is it on everybody's mind in Montgomery, Alabama. We made the national news once again, and it was not anything. It was not for anything good, but we did make it. At least everybody know where we are now. Although I don't think anybody would have had a problem finding this to begin with. Okay. Anyway, next up, of course, it is our daily bread. And that's where we give a word from on high to make sure you guys start this day off right. I don't know how your day is going to work, but I do know that this will help it. Okay. Trust me, it will. So after our daily bread, we'll come back and talk about the happenings. Also, in 8 o'clock hour today, we do have. I think we should come on 8:30, 8 o'clock, something like that. We got one of our local councilmen going to join us. Mr. Glenn Pruitt is going to join us. Hopefully, unless he gets lost and forgets how to do it. But I don't. 8:30. Yeah, 8:30. He's supposed to be here about that time. But right now, we're going to take a little time out and go to our daily bread because that is our tradition. Because you can't get anywhere unless you're led in the right direction. So we shall return uno momento, and I shall beg out. I shall beg out right now because I don't. You don't need me up there because I'm really not that important in the whole scheme of things. But you guys hang loose, and we shall return uno momento.
God is everywhere, is available every time, and listens always.
Our Daily Bread.
Today's encouragement from the Our Daily Bread devotional was written by Lawrence Darmani. A woman desiring to pray grabbed an empty chair and knelt before it. In tears she said, "My dear Heavenly Father, please sit down here. You and I need to talk." Then, looking directly at the vacant chair, she prayed. She demonstrated confidence in approaching the Lord. She imagined he was sitting on the chair and believed he was listening to her petition. A time with God is an important moment when we engage the Almighty. God comes near to us as we draw near to Him in a mutual involvement. He has assured us in Matthew 28:20, "I am with you always." Our Heavenly Father is always waiting for us to come to Him, always ready to listen to us. There are times we struggle to pray because we feel tired, sleepy, sick, and weak. But Jesus sympathizes with us when we are weak or face temptations. Hebrews 4:16 tells us, "Therefore we can approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need."
Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Hebrews chapter 4, verses 14 through 16. Therefore, since we have a great high priest who has ascended into heaven, Jesus, the Son of God, let us hold firmly to the faith we profess. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are. Yet he did not sin. Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. That's today's scripture reading from Hebrews chapter 4, verses 14 through 16.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you that we can pray to you in all places and at all times. Put the desire to come near to you into our hearts. We want to learn to come to you in faith and in confidence. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries. God is ever
Here we go, all the way, gotta be, rough and tough, bo diddly, have you heard? Bo diddly, have you heard? We're gonna jump from a big iron bird. Stand up, hook up, shuffle to the door. And you leap right out and count to four. If my main don't open wide, I got a reserve by my side.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go, all the way, gotta be, rough and tough. Hey, lottie, lottie, lottie.
Oh, that's nice.
Hey, lottie, lottie, lottie. Well, gee, I can say, gee, I can. We're so glad we didn't join the Navy. Well, gee, I queen said, gee, I call. We're so glad that we're gone. Here we go. All the way. Every day. All the way. Airport.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now let us pay homage to our armed forces of these United States of America, because we only got one United States of America, and hopefully we'll be around 250 more years. Although it's looking kind of, it's looking kind of dangerous out there right now. But hopefully we will ride out this patch of trouble right now, and we shall overcome. Like the song said, we shall overcome. Okay, but what we have to do first is make sure that we never put another Democrat in the White House. Okay? Oh, no, that's not. Make sure we put a reasonable Democrat in the White House. Okay, that's all I'm asking. Just make sure we put a reasonable one in there. Okay. All right. Anyway, so let us get moving on here. So let us now pay homage to the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and Space Force. Come on now.
Shout, counter marching all about, and those caissons go rolling along. For it's high, high in the field artillery. Count out their numbers, the
Oh, I forgot to be. I won't do that. No more. No more. I won't do that. I won't say anything about a Democrat or a Republican. Yes. My bad. I'm trying to get my Instagram working today. I'm working on it. And last but certainly not least, we call them Devil Dog and a lot of other names. But you know them affectionately as the United States Marine Corps. And their motto is Semper Fidelis, which means always, always faithful. Alrighty then. Okay, we got that. We did that already. We're good. Okay, we did that. Now, of course, it comes my little special presentation this morning. I do this on Mondays and Thursdays just to start your day off right, so you can and listen. I don't even know who spoke yesterday in church. I don't even know who it was, but he said something yesterday that I'm going to share with you people today because I think it is something worth sharing. Now, if any of you guys got anything you think is worth sharing, please let me know and I'll make sure I put it out there. Okay. But here's one. This is one by Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow, everybody knows me. He used to play a little football, used to play a little baseball, used to play all this stuff, but for some reason, people, he didn't catch him. They didn't want him talking about God or something too much or whatever. I don't know what their problem was, but the guy was talented. But he's probably one of the best quarterbacks Florida State has ever had. Is it Florida or Florida A&M? I don't know which Florida it is, but Tim Tebow was a bad mamma jamma when he was over there. Okay, only thing I've been bad at is, well, never mind. I'm not even going to go there this morning. Okay, I'm not even going to do it. I want to say good morning to Z, all the way down in that great state of Georgia, all the way down in the Fort Gordon. I think they changed it back to Fort Gordon. He should have been up already by now, though. I'm sure he's up already by now. Okay, if not with Pete Hegseth in there, everybody's gonna get up early. Woo! Okay, hey son, hey, you joined at the right time because you're either gonna crap or get off the pot. Okay, so I'm just saying they're gonna make you tough. We're gonna make you tough so you can, so you be ready for whatever comes. All right. Anyway, good morning to you. Next up, it is called Live a Life of Significance. And that's what we all need to do. And then I'll share with you what the pastor said yesterday. And then we get on to talk about the happenings of this weekend. And somebody keeps bringing up Posse Comitatus. Tebow did play at Alabama State. Come on, man. I know a little bit about football. But we're going to talk about Posse Comitatus. And everyone always whine, well, the president can't bring in truth. Well, yes, he can. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. If he so deems to do that, if he thinks that this stuff is getting out of hand. I'm not saying we're there yet, but I'm saying I understand why some of these cities are bringing in the National Guard. Okay. Anyway, next up, it's Tim, my man. Let's see. Tim Tebow. Like, come on, man. I may be born at night, but I wasn't born last night. Come on, man. I know who Tim Tebow is. I know he did. If he didn't play with Alabama State, Alabama State would have won at least one national championship. They'd have won the SWAC for 4 years straight if Tim Tebow was down there. But that's a whole different ball game. So next up, it's Tim Tebow, and it's about live a life of significance. And it's a really great thing to listen to. And I'm hoping if after you hear this, your perspective on life will change just a little bit this morning. And, every once in a while, not all the time, but every once in a while, we need to change our perspective, okay? Because you may not believe this, but sometimes y'all can be wrong. We'll be back.
When I was at the University of Florida, for every home game, we would get in the bus at our hotel, and we would drive right by the stadium, and we would stop at what's called the Gator Walk. And every game I played there was probably 20 to 40,000 fans at this Gator Walk, ready to greet us as we get off the bus. I would see all these people. I gotta tell you, there were a lot of voices that started to hit me. One of the first voices that instantly hit me was pride and arrogance, because I would look out and I would see thousands of jerseys with my number on it. I would look out and I would see Bible verses that they were wearing because I wore them. And so for a second you thought, dang, I'm something. They're here for me. This is pretty cool. I must be somebody. There's a picture that I stumbled across, and it's one of Time's 100 most influential images of all time. And it's the picture of this young girl. She's on her way from her village to a feeding center not far away. And she's so malnourished and she's moving so slow that this vulture is waiting to attack. So the young man that took this picture, I think there was probably something in his heart that he wanted to do good. He wasn't sure. So he captured this picture and he just waited, and then the vulture got closer. So he kind of shooed the vulture off, and then he walked away, and the vulture would come right back. And he was told, because of some of the sicknesses in the areas, don't touch anybody, don't do anything. And so he didn't. He didn't. He did nothing. Because apparently the cost was too much. So he left. He went back. The New York Times published this photo in 1993. In 94, he won the Pulitzer Prize for this photo. 4 months after this, he chose to end his life. You see, every single one of us, we have a chance to be successful in life. And you know what? I hope you are. I really do. I hope you're successful. There's nothing wrong with being successful. But success is just about you. But significance is about other people. You see, that man that took that picture, he had success. That's one of the greatest honors a photographer could ever have. But obviously it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So what's going to be enough for you? You see, success is great. You can do a lot of things with it, but it's not going to be fulfilling. And you can never forget that sense of urgency, that it's not about your timeline, it's about their timeline. While you might have 30, 40, 50 years, they have days, minutes, moments. She had moments, but it wasn't worth it to go pick her up. It wasn't worth it to give her a hug. It wasn't worth it to tell her about the gospel. Yeah, I won a Pulitzer Prize, but what does it matter? What does it matter? It doesn't. And I think the greatest tragedy in life is we're going to look back one day and say, I was successful in things that don't matter. I want you to be successful, but more than anything, I want you to be significant. And when you live for Jesus and you love people, I believe you're going to have a life of significance. When I was at the University of Florida, for every home game, we would get in the bus at our hotel and we would drive right by the stadium and we would stop at what's called the Gator Walk.
Successful, that is for you. But when you are significant, that is for everybody. And I think that that's a good thing to say. And before we get on to some of the conversations today that people, I know it's on people's mind. What the hell's going on in Montgomery, Alabama? Every day there's, we made national news. I got a call from Indiana last night, from a folks, got a call from Washington State from a folks. Everybody wondering, what's going on down here. We'll get to that a little later on. Lessons of life today is, I believe that the purpose of life is to do what we can, for whom we can, while we can, until we can't. And that is that's if you go to my Facebook page, you can see that on there again. And the word of the day is cock wobble. That sounds like one of those British words, cock wobble. But cock wobble, COCKWOMBLE. It means a foolish or obnoxious person possessing properties of striking idiocy. There's a lot of cock wobble walking around in Montgomery and the rest of the United States too, as a matter of fact. So don't be a cock wobble. Okay. Okay. I'm just telling you that if anybody calls you that, if you're old enough to smack them, do it, unless it's true. Okay. I'm just saying you might want to think about them. Well, you might want to think about that. Okay. I'm just saying you might want to think about not being a cock wobble. Okay, a cock wobble. That's it. Oh, let me put it on there so you guys can figure out what exactly what it is. Cock wobble. That's right. He said that being successful is okay, but being significant is much better. I totally agree with Mr. Tim Tebow. He seemed like a great guy. I don't have anything with it. Anyway, word of the day, cock wobble, a foolish or obnoxious person possessing properties of striking, not just being stupid, but just being really stupid. Okay. Stupid to the nth degree. Okay. That's what a cock wobble is. So if I ever call you, okay, Dr. Joe, I got you. I didn't know you had a chicken back there in the backyard. Although chickens do wobble. Okay. But anyway, let's talk about something. So we all know what happened over the weekend. But before we get to that, a lot of unknowing people. As a matter of fact, I see Marsha Johnson is telling us that the Office of Violence Prevention is open to talk to people about what happened. Well, that's funny because for $250,000 a year budget, or a little bit more if they rate, the mayor should rename. I don't mind having it to deal with these things, but to call it the Office of Violence Prevention is a stupid thing to call this. They're not stopping anybody from being violent. They're not stopping the violence in this city. As a matter of fact, I can with impeccable sources tell you that we're getting worse. Okay, we're just getting worse. So the Office of what we ought to call it is the Office of Violence Rehabilitation or something, not prevention. Okay, if the police can't stop these idiots from doing things and they got guns on their side, then what makes you think putting people in the office called violence prevention is going to stop anything? Oh, here's another thing too. You know that agency that we gave $3 million to? Yeah, they live free people. Live free people. Okay, that's what they call it. We gave them $3 million. Okay, and it's doing exactly what I said it was going to do, which is absolutely nothing. We just gave $3 million away to an organization. Listen, it's kind of like Black Lives Matter. They made millions of dollars and they bought a couple of mansions in L.A. Okay, So Live Free is what they call this organization. Look it up. I think we live in, but we live in anything but free. We all got to stay in our houses today, hunkered down like we in Iraq, Grenada, Korea, someplace like that. Because these fools around here just they don't get it. But why? I mean, I don't know. But they gave him the city of Montgomery gave him $1.4 million, $1.3 million. No, city of Montgomery gave him $1.7 million, and the county gave them $1.4 million, I believe. So $1,400,000, whatever it is. And so that was like putting money down the toilet. You know, what's going to have to happen? We got to start holding parents, because these kids who don't have discipline, the school don't want to discipline them, the parents don't want to discipline them, and their parents' excuse is that, well, they'll get on the phone and call the police. Well, let them call the police. Let them call. And then where they going to live when you get out of jail? And I told mine that. Where you going to live when I get out of jail? I mean, where you going to live? Okay? Again, we have got to take responsibility until they're 18 years old. Our responsibility, they're our responsibility. But you know, and I'm so sick and tired of seeing YouTube things where young guys who are really badass, and all of a sudden you go to jail, you start crying. I want to see my mama. Okay, then you get cried like a bitch. Excuse the language, but that's what they act like. They're so tough out here. They're so tough. But when Big Bubba and Big John and Big Leroy get you in jail with them, well, you find out just how bad you are not, you know. But we need to start holding parents responsible, because these kids are growing up, and these are the ones that are raising havoc in our streets today. Okay, these are the people that are raising havoc in our streets today, and I'm going to tell you, it's our fault too. It's our fault. It's our fault. I mean, it's our fault because we are changing our expectations of our kids, of our parenting. We are changing everything. But let me get back to this. What I want to tell you about. Okay, and Live Free just, you know, their whole mission statement just absolutely. They wanted $6 million. We gave them $3 million. That way they could buy a bigger house someplace. I don't know. It supposedly has mobilized faith leaders, justice advocates, and community organizers. Well, a community organizer, that's kind of like Jamal, community organizer. And what they doing? Partnership with local organizations, like what? Collaborating with groups that are already embedded in the community. So if we're already embedded in the community, why in the world do you need our money? You know, training. Oh, here's one. I love this one. Training violence interrupters, equipping trusted community members with the tools to mediate conflicts and prevent shooting. Yeah, it ain't working. It ain't working, and it never will work. You have to come out of the office. These community people, you got to come out of the office. And there are some people out there doing a couple of things. They're called dads. But it's our fault because we let it get this far. But anyway, moving right along to other things. Oh, let me make sure my phone is working here, because y'all can call if you got a what is our numbers here? I got to get the right number here. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so but we got issues, and it's not just Montgomery. At home the other night, at home South Bend, while Notre Dame was playing the greatest football game ever, we had some idiots out there shooting. So it's a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing, and we have allowed this culture to exist in America for too long. For too long, it's like we've just did away with common sense and discipline in our schools. And this is why when you have an all-woman school board, this is why you can't get any discipline in school, because they don't want to hit little Johnny on his butt, because he just needs to be loved. Well, sometimes hitting them on that booty is showing them some love, okay? Because you can't love them once they go to jail. Okay, you can't love them once they're in prison. You cannot love them. Okay, so do me a favor. And I think Dr. Z, I call him Dr. Z, but his name is Dr. Bird, who's who's our school superintendent, I think he's trying to bring this back a little bit. But he's going to get pushback from the board because they'd rather visit him in jail rather than whoop that butt while they're in school, so they don't come out 3 years later, join gangs and stuff like that because they got nothing else to do and they don't know what discipline is. Okay, so that's what I love about Pete Hegseth. We have gone so far to the left is that it looks like we're being unreasonable coming back to the middle. Okay, we've gone so far to the left. We let boys wearing girls' dresses to school now. It's what they want to be. Okay, so you telling me that a 10-year-old knows he wants to be a girl? Really? Now I don't mind 10-year-olds acting like girls because I act like one. I put on my mama's shoes when I was coming up because that's what kids do. Okay, but if at this age, if I'm still wearing my mama's shoes, something wrong with me. I'm just telling you, something wrong with me. Now, posse comitatus. Somebody give me a combo check on the phone. I want to make sure it's actually still working. So give me the numbers right there. Give me a call on the phone. I just want to make sure it's working because I don't want anybody to say, "Well, I tried to get in, but I couldn't get in." Okay, well, y'all need to call me in just to make sure that you don't even have to say anything. You can just call the number and let it ring once or twice, then hang up the phone. Because I just want to make sure that we got some communication. Because I know a lot of folks got something on their mind this morning. Because what happened in this city over the weekend? Okay, okay, there it is right there. Yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate you, Dr. Joe. Uh, if I had to, now I didn't, Camilla, I didn't bring up Democrats. He did, but if I had to make a educated guess, it would be those either Democrats or potential Democrats. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that'll do much. Or yeah, yeah. Problem with $50,000 rewards and stuff like that, it always comes too late. It always comes. It always comes too late. So, well, one day I heard 18. What they say, 18%, and then I heard it was 26% down, and every time we boast about how much is down, inevitably people do things. Well, I don't think he was. I don't think he was talking about that. Listen, I'm not. I think he then went out. I think he that because they called me. His manager or whatever she is. She called and we talked and then we're going to bring him on. So I don't know, but listen, it's always open for him. I don't have a problem with it being open for the yeah. Okay. Well, we gonna do it. Okay. Appreciate it. Okay. At least I know my phones are actually working now, so that's good. The Posse Comitatus Act. Before we get to anything, it is well it's a law that prohibited military people from conducting their business in the U.S. Okay, in the sovereign U.S. However, there are exceptions to the rule. Okay, the U.S. military can be activated on U.S. soil under specific circumstances. But there are important legal limits, and here is the clear breakdown because I do think I'm with Trump almost. Send them in. Active duty military generally cannot engage in law enforcement or domestic policing because of the Posse Comitatus Act, which I think is the Act 18 U.S. Code 1385. The National Guard can operate under the state authority for domestic missions like disaster relief and civil disobedience. I used to be a National Guard in Georgia, as a matter of fact, Calhoun, Georgia. So I know these things here. Legal authorities, legal authorized for domestic activation. One, the National Guard. Under state authority, Title 32, controlled by the governor, can be used for emergencies, disasters, and civil disturbance, like I just said. Under federal authority, Title 10, controlled by the President of the United States, subject to posse comitatus restrictions, meaning they cannot normally engage in law enforcement unless specifically authorized. And I do believe that if a governor asks them and stuff like that, they can do that. Okay. Federal military or active duty can be deployed on U.S. soil only in specific legally authorized scenarios. Insurrection. Well, I guess we really didn't have insurrection in D.C., did we? Guess we didn't, because we did not get the federal people employed. Okay. Insurrection and U.S. Code 251-55 or 10 U.S. Code 251. The president, now listen to this very carefully. The president can deploy federal troops to enforce federal laws, suppress insurrection, or protect constitutional rights if state authorities cannot maintain order. Ooh. Congress has authorized military intervention, like in Portland last week. Historically used in extreme situations. Okay, 1992 in Los Angeles with the riots and stuff like that. I think up in Harlem in 1968, I think that's when we used civil rights enforcement of the 1950 through the 1960, disaster and response and emergency. Under support of civil authority, DSCA, the military can provide logistics, medical support, or rescue assistance in the request of a state or federal agency. There are some limitations, of course. Posse Comitatus Act limits federal troops from law enforcement unless authorized. And who authorizes that? Normally, the governor in that state. But again, they can come protect federal building or federal land. State versus federal control. The National Guard, under state authority, has broader leeway for domestic actions than federal troops. And I understand that the National Guard is the governor's little police thing like that. Congressional oversight. Certain activations, like invoking the Insurrection Act, are subject to legal and political scrutiny. In short, the U.S. military can be activated on U.S. soil primarily in emergencies, natural disasters, insurrections, or when requested by the state or federal authorities. But law enforcement powers are usually restricted to the National Guard or specifically authorized federal troops. So if you want, to look that up, you can. But all these whining and telling me, he can't do that. He can't do that. Yes, he can. President can do that, especially if a governor picks up the hotline and say, hey, and in Montgomery right now, we don't have any really enough policemen, and here's another thing, and I'm going to talk about Pruitt when he comes on at 8:30, because we are still budgeting for 400 policemen. 400, and we're not using 400 policemen, right? We don't have nowhere near 400 policemen. So where does the rest of the money go? That's the question that somebody needs to answer to us. Okay, we are budgeting like we got 400 police officers. No one hears the callers. Okay, well, we can't hear calls on there. Okay, well, I need to know those things, so I can fix that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I need to know that. So I'll fix. I tried to fix it last week, but I don't believe. Let me see. I think it'll go. Let me see. 3, 1, 2. I don't know. I'm gonna check it out and see. Let's see. Okay, let me see if it'll do it now. But anyway, and if for some reason you can't hear him, I'll let you know. Okay. So, what about the shooting this weekend? Okay, well, I got it now. No one hears the call. Okay, my bad. I'll make sure that y'all let me know when you hear them. Okay, because when my computer goes off, sometime it changes the whole thing. I hate to leave it on though, because Alabama Power keeps taking the price of light bill up around here. Unless y'all want to donate to the brother here, and I can leave it on all the time. As soon as I figure out how to put a donation button up there, y'all help a brother out here, then I can leave it on all night long. I get up at 12 o'clock at night and do another show. Anyway, 2 people killed, 12 injured in downtown Montgomery mass shooting. Never in my life did I think I would see the word mass shooting in the city of Montgomery. I mean, I know our little fellas around here like to shoot their guns off like they want to be, and they got one fool walking down the street now with he's walking down the street with I don't know what kind of gun that is. It's a rifle. It's not an M16. It's not a AR-15. I don't know what it is, but you can see if you go to YouTube, you'll see not YouTube, Facebook. I mean, he walking down the street in Montgomery. I think he's walking down Norman Bridge Road or something like that, and he's walking around with a gun. And y'all telling me that we can't stop people who obviously are mentally ill. We can't stop people walking down the street with rifles on them. But when somebody dies again, see, we always like to see in America, we like to see people die before we can actually do anything. Okay. Okay. So that's what we like to do. Okay. We like to see people die. And then we'll say, well, we should have did this and we should have did that. Well, here's a mayor. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got to show you this one right here. This is the mayor of the night. Okay. Where's he at? Okay. Let me see if I can get him on here. Okay. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Is that the mayor right there? Yeah, I think that's him right there. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's him right there. Okay. Don't show that. Is that the mayor? Come on, is that the mayor? Let me see. No, that don't look like the mayor right there. I did something wrong. Okay, so let me wait. Hold. Let me get this right. Okay, because I want to show you him and Graybo's the other day out there, talking about the incident, as it were, and so let me make sure. I don't know why I got that many things up there, but I will. We'll get back to that in a second here. Okay, so okay, let me see here now. Get that out of there. Let me see. I got it. Sometimes I thought I was a master of this by now, but I'm not really a master of this at the moment. But I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Okay, so we're working on some things here. Now let me see if I can get him again. Show him, and I don't have any audio to go with this though, but just to show you that they were out there. At least they were out there talking. Okay, they was out there talking. So said, okay, then. All right. We got to do what we got to do. Okay, let me see. Window, entire screen. Let me see. There we go right there. There we go. There's the mayor right there. Okay, you see where he is right now, right? You see him and Graybo's was out there the other day, I guess, after 2 kills. And he said, what did he say? You don't care about your life. Go jump off a bridge. Well, I think that's pretty good advice. But don't pull a gun and shoot in a crowd of people. Now, Mayor, listen, I love you. But if you think those fools are listening to that message, then me and you need to go have lunch. Okay, they're not listening to you. They're not. They don't listen to the police. They don't listen to me. They don't listen. I mean, they don't listen to. They're not listening to you. That was a waste of breath right there. That's true. That was a waste of time to make that statement, because that's not going to stop anything. If we had more policemen, we need to find a way. And I came up with a great idea. Okay, I came up with a great idea, and nobody has taken me up on this idea. And that idea is this: you bring back retired police officers as warrant officers, where their job is to help and train. Okay, and put them on, and it has nothing to do with their retirement, nothing to do with their retirement, anything like that. They get to keep their retirement coming in, but we bring them in as warrant officers. That way, sergeants can't tell them what to do. Majors and people like that under the police department, they don't tell them what to do, but they do. But the warrant officers do answer to the majors and other captains as a means of organizational structure. Okay, but warrant officers are the luckiest people in the military. I ain't figuring who in the hell they work for yet, but they work for somebody. Okay. They're like highly placed technicians. Okay. So we bring back retired people who want to take it on as a warrant officer. It's a warrant officer who only answer to the police chief, but they work with everybody. Okay. So they're not a sergeant. They're not a regular officer, but they are a tactician and a technician. And we could bring them back, pay them whatever rank they come up with for that pay. He would be under the pay would be under lieutenants, but over all the sergeants. Okay, and I think that is a outstanding idea. And then we'll be able to put people on the streets around here who know these streets. Okay, who know these streets. Okay, can come right off the bench and get in the game. Okay, get in the game. Retire if you want to do it. I mean, they come out. They don't have to go to practice. They don't have to go 6 weeks of post this and post that. They can come right off the street in the game. Okay, right off the bench, baby. Right off the bench, as if the game never stopped. And I think that's what we need to do temporarily, because we already are budgeting for 400 police officers. So here's what that means. That means that money that's in the police budget is being used for other things. Okay, because I was looking at the budget hearings the other day. Well, I didn't see anybody say we're going to give the money back. So why are we budgeting for 400 police officers when we got 100 and something? So the money is there to bring in these people that I'm telling you about, put them on retired police officers, and bring them on as warrant officers, and then pay them, okay, under lieutenants, but maybe higher than the sergeants. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it'll help us temporarily until we find people who want to do this job. Okay. Here's my problem. It's got to be leadership. It's got to be leadership. And I don't know whose leadership. I'm not blaming anybody. But we can talk people into going in the military to protect people that they don't even know. Everybody in the United States. So why can't we talk people who live here to be on the police department to protect their relatives, their own homes, their own property? So what's the difference? Why can't we get people on the street why can't we get people in the Montgomery Police Department? And I know it's tough all over. Okay. Well, then doggone it, we need to show some gumption here and figure out how to lead better than those other cities do. We need to figure out a way to get people in our police department better than the other. You want to put me in charge of it? I'll be in charge of it. Okay. Hire me. I'll get you some police officers. I don't care where I got to go. I mean, as long as they're not, and if they smoked a little marijuana when they were young, so be it. I don't care. But they can't be smoking on the job. I'm just saying, that's like drink. We ought to treat marijuana like we treat alcohol. Listen, we know you drink, but don't be drinking on the job, because if you do, not only will we put you in jail for driving a police car under the influence, but we'll fire you. But everybody knows that people drink beer, whatever the case may be. So what you do off duty, but you cannot be doing that on duty. Okay. I'm just saying, what does he say? Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. That's true. I don't know who came up with that one, but they're absolutely right. They're absolutely right. So does anybody disagree with my thing? We need to hire ex-police officers as warrant officers. Okay. Because if we're not going to do that, now listen to me good, city council people, and if we're not going to do that, why are we budgeting for 400 policemen? Where is that money going? We are budgeting in our budget for 400 police officers. Everybody knows we don't have 400 police officers in the city of Montgomery. So where does the money go? And if it's just sitting there, then that's stupid. Hire some temporary help from retired policemen. Let them come on, okay, and let them come in as a warrant officer. Okay. So, oh, that's it. G. Michael Hope, or whatever. Like, okay, yeah, that's a good thing. We can't hear. Yeah, well, hopefully when somebody decides to call again, we'll do that. And y'all can always write in now. You can always write on my thing here, and we will read your contribution this morning. Okay. Mayor said, if you don't care about your life, go jump off a bridge. Well, Mayor, listen, I'm good. But I'm just thinking that may not be the great advice, because some of them people probably want to jump off the bridge. So that may not be the best public advice to give people. And listen, people go through hard times. Okay. Oh, the money goes. So the money goes into the general fund, according to Compton. Well, okay, so here's another question. Then why do we even budget at all for the police department if you know that the money is going to go to the general fund, so somebody can take that money out of there and use it for nefarious things and do other things with it? When our safety in this city is under siege. Now, I'm not one of those guys. One of our founding fathers said, he that desires safety over freedom deserves neither. I sort of agree with that. But I do want to fight and chance. Okay. Because we live in a state where we're walking around with a gun just don't mean nothing to anybody. Everybody can do it. I ain't talking about shopping. I ain't talking about when it's time for hunting, fishing, and all that stuff. I mean, we just walk. We got people walking down the street now. What looks like Mac 10s. Okay. I mean, what in God's name are you telling me that the Attorney General of the city of Montgomery doesn't see any? I mean, the Attorney General of the state of Alabama don't see anything wrong with that? Really? And everybody's running, scared from the Attorney General. Then sue us. At minimum, we need to. If you're walking down the street with a gun, we need to know who the hell you are. We need to know your name, your rank, your serial number, and all the rest of that stuff. Okay. I mean, we are under siege. Anytime I see a guy walk down the street, on military bases. Okay. Now I want you, listeners, lookers, I want you to understand something. On military bases, we don't get to carry our weapons that have been assigned to us. We're in the United States Army, the United States Air Force, the National Guard, and Marines. We can't carry weapons on base. Okay. We can't do it because we have no reason to do it on base. Okay. So why in the world would anybody believe that dumpster dummy would be walking down the street? Okay. He needs to be walking down the street with a rifle when we in the military have been trained to do it, to train to shoot them, train to train them. I mean, to clean them, train to use them. But in the state of Alabama, we saying you can just walk down the street with a Mac 10 or an AR-15 or M16 or 22 rifle, what all these. I don't know all the nouns and nomenclature of these guns because I don't. Only thing I got familiar with was an M16 and a 45. So other than that, I don't really know much about guns. I know they shoot. I know they make holes in things. Okay. So I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But again, why are we budgeting for 400 police officers? We only got 100 and something. Let's say I'll give you. Say we got 200. Why are we budgeting? So what happens to all that money that goes into the city budget? What happens to all that money? We can use that money to hire some, and it's got to be a whole different category of employee, but as a temporary employee, okay, and make them warrant officers. They have too much experience to be put in as an officer. But they never made it to the officer rank. So, but if they're sergeants or whatever the case may be, I don't care what they got out as. They're out now. They retired. So let them come back in as a warrant officer and get the respect that goes with their time in service. Okay, time and service, of course, would be how long you were on the police force, stuff of that nature. And we in the military we call that time in service. Okay, and it's regardless of what your grade was, doesn't make any difference. You're retired now. That thing is over. But you have experience and you have knowledge. You have a working knowledge of the city where people live, where they are, and you've been post certified already once. So why not bring some of those people back, the ones that will come back, and they're still getting their retirement check from the city of Montgomery. Okay, they're still getting their retirement check. You don't get to lose any of that. You just get to add a little change to it while you're on while you're quote unquote, while you're on active duty. We are what we call that. We are uh, putting you on active duty temporarily. Okay, temporary of duty, like we say in the Army, TDY, temporary duty. Okay. Oh, there we go. We're not on the. Can anybody? Are we back on? Um, I think we are. Well, we were known for a second. I don't know what happened to it. But anyway, so the numbers here, if you want to give us a call. So why would the money go to the general fund? Why not? Why not? Um, hold on. Why not put people? Oh, wait a minute. What, somebody wrote me a text here. Okay, we can't hear you call, blah, 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 blah. Your thoughts about the Attorney General publicly criticizing Mayor Reed. Has he ever criticized, you know, somebody said that when two elephants get to fighting, um, the best place to be is someplace else. Because then the big boys. And when two big boys get to fighting, now I'm not gonna say that I don't think that the mayor sometimes has got a rotten deal. Um, do they hold him? As a matter of fact, his own people hold him more accountable often than than we held any other mayor. We do. Emory Farmer didn't have to be held accountable. Emory Farmer handled things. Um, Bobby Bright was a good. I don't know. He was a moderate Democrat. I think he did a pretty decent job. Todd Strange, I think, did a decent job, but sometimes I think he was a little soft too. But but is the mayor getting criticized because he's black? I do not believe so. Um, he may be getting criticized because he's a Democrat, but not because he's black. The Democratic philosophy when it comes to relations, race relations, public relations, is a little different than everybody else's. I mean, I, I wouldn't. I don't know. Now, I don't understand why we paying $60,000 for somebody to get him on TV and stuff like that. I don't know why we doing that, but okay. I guess you need some. I guess he needs some. I guess he needs some publicity. And I must admit to you, he's probably not the only mayor that goes places. Now, nobody wants to see the Chicago mayor or the New York mayor. Um, you know, Oh, well, it ain't but $60,000 a year, so it ain't that much. Out of the budget for the city police, I think somewhere around $41 million, somewhere around there. So it ain't paying much for his book. I mean, I guess you could call it uh, public something. I don't know what they call that, but I understand why he does it. I mean, it is necessary to get outside the walls of Montgomery sometime and see the world and see what's going on and get some ideas of how to do things better here. I don't have a problem with him going places and $60,000 is not a whole lot of money. Okay. So I don't have a fight with that. Now, did Todd ever go into place? I think he did. He went places. Were we paying? Well, here's a question I ask you: were we paying for it then? Now, Todd had his own money, and stuff like that. Kind of a he's kind of a wealthy guy. But did I think I think if we look back, um, we probably did have people booking our mayor. At least I think we did anyway. I'm not sure. So if it's never been done before, well, maybe okay, they maybe they what's the word I'm looking for here? Uh, well, I can't think of it now. I then lost my mind. But maybe it's been going on all the time, and nobody's brought it up until now. Okay, I don't have a problem. Our governor, our mayor, our city council people, our people go other places and see how things are being done. If those things are better than ours, if they're in better financial shape than we are, then why are they in better financial shape? If the crime rate is down in other cities similar to ours, then why not go? Of course, all we can do is go to Prattville and go to Millbrook and see what they're doing. Let me tell you what they're doing. They ain't playing. Now I don't know if you can walk around Millbrook or Prattville with a Mac 10 on your side. I don't know if you can do that. Okay, and the idiots that's doing probably can't afford to sue them. So I don't know if they're doing that or not. Let me see here now. Hey, bud, pretty good. Now I got to see if anybody can hear you. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm going to see if anybody does anybody hear Bud on the phone. Anyway, go ahead. Hmm. Yeah, it's about 3 point something. Yeah. Well, I mean, what I'm trying to figure out is why can't we? Anyone? Yeah, we know anybody can walk around with a gun, Joe. Joe, we know that, and that's the problem. Okay. Mm. Mm. Well, of course, I wouldn't know. Uh, um, mhm. Okay, can y'all hear? Can y'all hear Bud now? He's making some interesting points here. Um, do you by any stretch of the imagination think that our founding fathers wanted everybody to walk around with a gun? I don't think so. No, no, the militia. Mhm. Right, because everybody from 16 years old to 60 was part of the militia automatically. Okay, right. Well, okay, we did have bears and everything like that coming to your house and everything. I got you. Hmm. Well, that didn't work too good for Raymond. That didn't work too good for Mr. Burr. Uh, well, somebody we're gonna have cowards, so we'll still have cowards who'll still shoot people in the back. Mm, mhm. Okay. Well, I will. I appreciate it. I'm trying to fix this thing where people can hear y'all talk. I don't know. I Sometime it works and sometime it don't now. Anyway, thanks, Bud. If I need to call you back, I will. Okay. I'm trying to figure it. I gotta take a picture of the way I had it set up before because I'm kind of lost at the moment. I don't know why it's doing this to me, but that's okay. I'll fix it tomorrow. By tomorrow, it will be fixed. I'll figure it out some kind of way. Anyway, our numbers are eight. Not. I went back to the other one. I'm not on that station anymore. Um, Take a break and listen. But I need, see. Here's the problem. I can't do it on my own by myself because I can't call myself. So it's got to be somebody from an outside call that calls in. I am a computer. I didn't ever say I was a genius. I'm a tactician. Okay. And again, I'm as far as I know, I'm one of the few people ever done it who have ever done this way. So it's going to be it's like a city council meeting, dead air. I understand what you're saying, but so give a brother a break here because at least we have the opportunity to hear people, just like on live radio. So cut me some slack here. I'm gonna get it done as soon as I figure out how to do it. And I did it. I've been doing this since I've been doing this. But every once in a while, when you turn the computer off, you lose settings. And so I just got to figure out which setting is the one that we want to, you know, yeah, it's how we want to roll and do this. Okay. So I'll look at it later on today. We'll be all right. But until then, you can always text, and you can always do other things. But I'll get it. I'll get it done. I'm a soldier, baby. I get it done. I don't quit. I fix it. I don't at some point. I will fix it. So anyway, so y'all can just write. You can't. That's why you have many ways to communicate. You can write. You can text us in on the live line that goes on the show right now. You can write anything you want to. I'll even show it to people. I won't even dump you. Okay. So it's coming. I got it. Under siege. Yeah, we are under siege. We are under siege by gun owners. I mean, we are. I would be all right if you told me everybody who carried a gun has to have an ID on them. See, that would be a little bit of comfort. Not much, but it'd be a little bit of comfort because it means that if we and by getting that ID, you give us permission to to um, uh, 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 find out who you are. And if we find out who you are, then then you don't get because personally, if you really want to know the truth about this thing, why is it that we can take somebody who's been in prison and stop them from carrying a gun if he has a constitutional right? Why can't we do that? He's got a right to protect himself. He's got a right to protect his family and his home. So we become awfully convenient to use the word constitution unless there's somebody you don't want to give back their constitutional rights. So we're kind of hypocrites. We're sort of hypocrites in a way, aren't we? A guy goes to jail for marijuana, whatever he did. You give him a record, and now he can't carry a gun. And if he does carry a gun, you're gonna put him in jail. But we got people walking down the street with guns who probably ought to be in jail, but we can't stop them because we say he got a right to carry a gun, whether we know he got a right to carry a gun or not. I'm just saying we got some issues here, okay, that need to be worked out. And I don't see anything. Now, here's my thing. Here's my thing. What we should do, in my mind, what we should do, okay, is, let me make sure I get this right. What we should do is take the ammunition for weapons and make you show ID to get that ammunition. And we need to put a tax on ammunition so expensive that you don't want to buy it and you don't want to waste the shell. Okay, we need to put a $200 per bullet tax on ammunition. That's right. Okay, maybe $100 per bullet, $100 per bullet. Okay, and I guarantee you, once you get paying all that kind of money, well, they don't seem to have the same problems I have because most of them don't take calls. They just talk. And that's cool, but I don't like doing that. I like hearing the interaction. You know, y'all such a bunch of critics. You want to come over and help a brother out? I don't mind. I'll take some expertise. If you know better than I do, come on over. We'll fix it. It'll never be wrong again. Okay, Daryl. Okay, it'll never be wrong again. You just come on over here, brother, and show me what I'm doing wrong. Now, since I'm the only one in town that actually does this, there's always going to be the first guy always catches the blues. It's kind of like Guadalcanal. You know what the what James Cagney said, who played no, I don't care. Yeah, but let me ask something. I don't care who's buying the ammunition, but somebody's buying ammunition, okay, to put into these weapons. Somebody's buying it. So if I had to pay $100 per bullet, do you think I'd let that bullet go just to anybody? Okay, I can't put them on. Well, I guess I could actually put people on speaker, but how does that work anyway? Well, I'll figure that out tomorrow. We'll do some other things tomorrow. I'll get that done because I do actually have another phone here someplace, but I'll get it done. Because I had it working great last week, but I turned off the computer, so we'll see how it goes. All right, but I'm gonna have to do it while I'm offline so I can hear. Because I can't do it while I'm on the air. I have to do it when I'm off the air. That way, people can call into the. Well, actually, I can do it while I'm on the air, but nobody wants to go through the trial and error of that. Then I look like a what's the word I'm looking for? I look like a novice, and I am kind of new to the whole pod game. Yeah, they do, but they go on YouTube and they don't take calls. Him and what's his name don't take calls. I mean, I'm the only one that take calls on the air. On doing the podcast. Nobody else does that but me. And so it just got a little. I mean, I don't like hearing myself talk that long. I hope you will be able to. Well, of course you'll be able to hear me if you go online. You can, because he's going to be on. He's going to be on the video thing. So yeah, you'll be able to hear him. It's only on the phone that it's difficult to hear sometimes. Okay, look like a Kevin. What does that mean? Oh, I hear you. Well, listen, y'all can. I don't mind taking a little criticism, don't worry, but I'm the only guy that does this way. So nobody else does it this way. And so what I'm doing, I'm the guinea pig for everybody else who wants to do it. Okay, so after I figure out all the issues going on here, that's why I'm not charging people big dollars for advertisement yet, because I'm working out all the issues. Again, tell me anybody else in this town who's doing a podcast that takes calls like radio. Yeah, that's right. Nobody but me. Okay. So I'm doing it for everybody. I'm doing it for everybody else. But Glenn's going to be in the studio, And anything anybody who has a computer will be able to hear, or your phone will be able to hear, as long as as long as you're either on YouTube, or you on the let me see, YouTube or Facebook, you'll be able to hear. Not a problem. No one but fix it. Exactly. I'm gonna fix it. Okay. Yeah, y'all a bunch of state elected officials have no interest in curbing gun violence. Look at NRA contribution to our state official. You see, I don't have a problem with the NRA. This is not about the NRA. This is about stupid people getting guns who should not get one. And we ought to know who they are when they buy one. We're not going to stop you from buying one, but we are going to be able to identify you if you carry one. And if you don't have ID on you and you carry a weapon around here, you're in violation of the law. We didn't say you couldn't carry one, but I will agree with you one thing. Unfortunately, we hide under the cloak of the Second Amendment. Okay, we hide under that cloak of your rights shall not be infringed upon, and nobody's infringing on your rights. But we do need to do something about this gun thing. Uh, we just need to do something. Would that have stopped what happened the other night? I don't know. At $100 a bullet, I'm gonna be careful who I'm shooting. At 100, and I think we have you looking like a cockwobble. I hear you, brother. Well, that's right. Well, at least you use the word correctly. Okay, so I'll get it. I'll get it to you, Greg. You use the word correctly. I'm good. Cockwobble. Okay, then. And for all those who don't know where that word came from, it was my word of the day, and it's called cockwobble. Okay, and it means what does it mean? What does it mean? I had it up here a little while ago. Let me see. It means idiocy or something like that. Okay. I mean, it means, oh, here it is right here. The word cockwobble, a foolish or obnoxious person possessing properties of striking idiocy. Now, I don't believe that totally describes me, but I do have moments where that may be applicable. Okay, I'm okay. That may be, especially when I'm under the pressure and under the lights of doing this show, and people just whine all the time. Somebody, hey, why don't somebody? Hey, Elkins, I'll come by and help you make. We could test that out, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, good. That's what I want to hear. See, how about saying that to me? Okay, rather than, man, you're a dumbass. You don't know nothing. You stupid. Okay, and which all may be true, but give a brother a break. I'm kind of new at this. Not like I've been doing this for years. I've been doing this for a few months, and for the most part, I think we're getting along. But trust me, I want to fix the whole. I just got to figure out what it is or what's going on with it. So we'll get that done. Okay. Now, when y'all stop whining, let me continue on other things. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna work on that. Okay. When I was coming to school, when I went to school, we had people high schoolers coming to work with a shotgun in the back of uh, of their cars and their trucks, and we didn't think anything about it, anything, because fathers and mothers and people in the community, we had discipline with those. They know they better not do nothing with that rifle they're not supposed to. Okay, I mean they knew that, but now, no, we ain't the same way. And I realize that guns don't kill people, but people use guns to kill people. And we need to limit access to idiots. Okay? We just do. We need to limit access to people who want to harm other people. Okay. Yeah, Duke. Yes. Yeah. How do they get hands on dope? I don't know. How do people get their hands on right? But how do people get their hands on illegal drugs? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you can't. I mean, if and that's why you ought to hold their parents. Well, I don't really know, what that means. Um, what you don't, I don't know. That's true. Parents are partly responsible for some of this. Wait a minute. Are you saying everybody's kids are stupid? That they got to pick up a gun? They got to take. You don't have to go in a pawn shop, and that's the other thugs that's giving them the guns. Yeah, probably from some of them. Wait a minute. Some of them are breaking into people's cars. I did a report last week about most of the guns in Montgomery, Alabama, that are used for nefarious reasons have been stolen from people, and most of the cars. Okay, okay, go right ahead. And most of the people, what Gray Boy said last week, most of the guns being used have been stolen out of people's cars or breaking into people's homes and stealing guns. Okay, so I think if your gun gets stolen out your car and you did not do your due diligence to make sure that if somebody broke into your car, okay, at least that thing would be in a at least it would be in a lockbox or something. If it's not in a lockbox, and sure, you can get the lockbox beat up and tear it all up and get the gun out of there. But at least you did your due diligence in order to make sure that it's not stolen, or if it is stolen, that it's not easily accessible. Okay, so I think grown folks ought to take responsibility for stupid actions that they take. Okay, okay. So listen, I do believe that parents are partly responsible for this crap that's going on in our city. Young parents, I think it is. I mean, and when I see a 50-year-old man walking down the street holding his pants up, and his other hand got his son walking with him, and he holding his pants up, that lets me know all I need to know about parenting today. Okay, it lets you know all you need to know. I mean, Bill Cosby said one day he looked at the kid who was acting crazy. He was wondering why he acting that way. Then he saw what his parents were doing. He said, "Now he knows. Now he knows." Kids watch what we do. Okay, yeah, cock wobble is on there. Okay, uh, you didn't hear Mayor say he got rid of car. Well, he can't get rid of them. I mean, you can't get rid of. I mean, people break into people's cars, but you don't have to leave your gun in it, And if you did leave it in it, leave it in the trunk. Nobody's going to sit out there for an hour beating your trunk trying to get it open. Okay, so I'm just saying, some people are just cockwobbles. Okay, I'm just saying. Anyway, let me see. Where is? Oh man, it's 8:29. So now I'm. Uh-oh, there he is, right there, my man. The greatest. Okay, let me add you to the stage right quick. The greatest councilman that has ever been.
Good morning, Kev. Hey,
Good morning.
I was debating on when it said put your name. I was gonna put something like Big Daddy or something. I'm glad I didn't. I didn't know my name would pop up there. It would be funny.
Good. Well, needless to say that you got calls over the weekend about what happened, downtown.
Yeah.
And we know I shouldn't even ask you your thought. You got the same thoughts I got. Why did it happen?
I got the same thoughts everybody's got. Why did it happen? And I think the mayor actually said it best yesterday that, if you want to be stupid, go jump off a bridge. I think that was one of his best quotes. Kev, I think, why it happened. I will never know why it happened. Just kids being very, very stupid. But I do think that we as a city need to take an approach of being more aggressive. When I say aggressive, knocking on doors, going and do police stuff. instead of park talk and walks and that sort of stuff. And that's good. If your community is running well, that's great to get out. But we've got to be respectful, but we've got to go get respect, if that makes sense. And I don't know how we do that, but they need to figure it out. Don't cross any lines, but we have to earn that. I mean, 15, 20 years ago, they said, I think in the press conference, they said that there were 2 police officers within 50 yards of the shooters. 15 years ago, that doesn't happen. 20 years ago, that doesn't happen because there was a respect and a fear of MPD. And I don't know if we have that today with this generation, because I don't think we've earned it. I think we've done things backwards of what we used to do. I think we need to be a lot more tough on people.
But in the meantime, what do you suggest?
Just what I talked about right there. I don't know why they say we have to advertise these checkpoints. I wish we had more checkpoints. I wish we'd start doing overtime in these neighborhoods. Listen, with all those cameras down there, they've got I've not spoke to anybody. They've got an idea who did the shooting. I would saturate that neighborhood. I would saturate those, as Mayor Strange called it, loosely associated
gangs.
Yeah, loosely associated groups.
Mm-hmm.
I would put my foot down on those folks. And I understand the Office of Violence Prevention, and
which is useless,
and all this other stuff. But dang it, please let our police be police officers for the next couple months and go get some respect and get our city back in order, because it's out of control right now.
Mm-hmm. I made a suggestion that we bring back retired police officers on a temporary duty and make them warrant officers. They don't answer. They answer to the police chief, but they don't answer to anybody else. We bring them on, and it doesn't mess with their retirement. They keep getting their check, but they come on as trainers and assistant to the current crop of policemen. They already are post certified.
Right.
They already know Montgomery.
Right.
They know the people. They lived here most of their lives. You bring them back. They make a little extra money for a little while, and then they're gone again, but without messing with anything, any of the check. In the Army, we have what's called a warrant officers, and a warrant officers is somebody who's not enlisted, but they're not an officer either.
Right.
So basically, they're like assistants and trainers. Why don't we try a program like that to bring? If we are spending money for 400 police officers and we got 200 maybe,
Right.
We still got extra money in the budget. Why not do that?
We are, Kev. We are actually trying to hire laterals. And I'll share this with you. I'm gonna jump around just a second. Derek Cunningham, Sheriff Cunningham, has gone to the legislature. He is trying to get a bill enacted for part-time officers. Cannot work over 32 hours, and the starting pay be at I think it's $52,000 or $55,000. He is actually working with state legislators and hoping that it gets passed in this upcoming session. A couple of months ago, and this is where I'm going to get to your laterals and hiring part time. A couple of months ago, we had a public safety committee meeting. Myself, Ed, Aronde, and I think Marche and Julie are on that committee. And we had a committee, and I had been in conversations with Chairman Singleton, Doug, about actually hiring. The sheriff's department has about 50 to 70 people on their waiting list to become sheriffs. And Doug had shared with me that if the city would be willing to pay the salaries, the county would pay the benefits package. So that is a great deal for the city of Montgomery. We don't have the long term with these folks. It would have been $3 million. And like you said, Kevin, we have tons and tons of fallout in our budget, that would not have been a problem. They would have reported to Sheriff Cunningham, but they would have worked inside the city limits. So there'd have been some cooperation about where we are going every day and that sort of stuff, which that's not that big a deal. I got pushback from the city, from upstairs, that we wanted to work on our laterals, meaning they were looking for people coming from other police departments to ours. We were looking for part-time people, and we wanted to grow our police department by ourselves. And that was the answer and response I got. And for the life of me, even up until today, I don't understand that response. As you know, it'd probably take 3 to 6 months probably to get those people. Most of them on the waiting list are already, like you said, post-certified. They'd had to get, I guess, reclassified and all that good stuff. But it would have taken 3 to 6 months, and we could have had, 50 additional officers on our street. And the whole deal was we were upset because they weren't going to report to us. And I don't understand that. That's not what
sound like an ego to me.
It does to me. And to be able, could you imagine today, and maybe that shooting does not happen downtown. We'll never know the answer, but could you imagine having an additional 50 officers today? And, we'd still be behind where we were, 6 or 7 years ago, but additional 50 would make a huge dent in what we need to get. And I don't understand that.
One of our listeners, our listener, says that you don't stage major events with 100 police officers on the 4th or whatever small number we have. What do you say to that?
Well, and that's probably absolutely correct. I don't know. They don't share with us the staffing procedures and how many people are at Crampton Bowl, and I don't know if we had any at the ASU game. I don't know how many were downtown. I don't know how many were at the fair. But I probably do know this without asking, that they probably had every single officer working and nobody was off this weekend, would be my guess. Everybody had to work, because I do know majors and everybody were downtown on the clock this weekend working.
Mm-hmm. Another person says that with all the cameras that we have downtown and all over the city, seriously, somebody, we should have a picture or a video of these people who did this.
And my guess is, I'm strictly guessing. I watch too much TV, but my guess is they already do know who it is and they're looking for them and don't want to put the word out, would be my guess. Like you said, there's cameras, there's drones. That's my guess, is they probably know who it is and they're looking for them without alerting anybody, would be my guess.
Mm-hmm. Answer me this question: since if my suggestion about the warrant officers doesn't play out, why do we budget for 400 officers, knowing that we don't have 400 officers? Why do we budget for that? That money could be used someplace else.
It could be. I think this past year, Kevin, we had and it's public record. We had probably $40 to $50 million in fallout out of that budget. And what I mean by fallout is money that was not spent for whatever reason. And most of the reasons are, understaffed, as you just spoke of. Let's just say, for math purposes, there's 250 officers and we budgeted for 400. Ballpark, what they tell us or have told us, and I know it's gone up some, but we'll use $100,000 per officer for cars, benefits, everything, right? So that's $15 million, Kevin, right there. I know the fire department is under by like 60 people. So, that's another $6 million. So we're at $21 million in 2 departments and we ain't gone anywhere else yet. We're understaffed in almost all of our departments. Now to the credit of the mayor and, Miss Betty, the CFO, we have done a good job in putting money back in reserves. There was one year that I think when Todd took over, we had $0 in reserve. Bobby Bright spent it all on the way out the door. We had zero. Now we've got 20%, close to 20% of our budget. Plus, there's a capital project account that downtown has that they are putting money aside for special projects. So the city is doing very well financially. So there is a lot of money there, Kevin, that there could be some things done.
Well, why can't let me ask you? And again, I don't. Why can't you guys convince people to be police officers? Why can't you? What's wrong with? I mean, it's an honorable job. We got my son just joined the military, which means that he can actually be deployed someplace at a moment's notice, and he's willing to go overseas. We can't get people to protect their own backyard.
Everybody says that it's the world that we live in today. Well, Sheriff Cunningham ain't living in the same world. He's got 50 to 70 people over there waiting.
So what's the difference?
I'm not sure
in your mind.
I'm not sure. If it's the climate that we live in. I mean, as you know, it's. I mean, just look at this weekend. It's very difficult. It's apples and oranges being, I think, a police officer in Montgomery versus a police officer in Tallahassee. Making, close to the same money. You're not putting up with the stuff in Tallahassee that you're putting up with in Montgomery. And, pulling a car over in Tallahassee at 2:00 in the morning versus pulling over a car in Montgomery at 2:00 in the morning, you don't know what you're going to get. And, that I think that probably has a lot to do with it.
Well, let me tell you what the police officer is telling me. Okay, because I'm the man on the street. Everybody knows it. Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah, they tell me it is because the head shed takes too many liberties. They don't really honor the policemen. Okay, and they don't want to work for someone. If they need a day off, they got to go through all this crapola to get a day off. If they got things to do with their kids, I don't know if this is true or not, but there's definitely a leadership role issue here. If Sheriff Cunningham got people waiting to come on,
right,
and we can't get people to fill what we already budgeting for, there's a leadership issue here. If it's with you guys on the city council, with the mayor, the way we do things, but there's obviously a leadership issue here.
Well, and I think you hit one of the issues on the head, and the fire department actually came to us about that issue. You were talking about, trying to get days off, being held over to work overtime. Tomorrow you got a mandatory overtime. Well, the fire department is going through a similar situation like that. I forget the percentage, but majority of them are getting held over for another shift because they are short. And, Chief Jordan just retired. Chief Jordan, I mean, the fire department is one of the things that do work correctly in the city of Montgomery. If they answer that 911 call, which, I've heard horror stories about it. If they answer, the fire department will be at your house in 2.5, 3 minutes. And they came to us, and right, wrong, or indifferent, since Noah built the ark, they have gone hand in hand with police department, public safety. And if one side got a raise, the other side got a raise. The starting firefighters, starting officers always made the same amount of money. And it was up to them to.
Which makes sense. They're both public service.
Yep. You can't put a price on that, brother. I mean, you want if somebody's breaking in your house, to show up. And also, if you're having a heart attack, you want somebody to show up to take care of you. And we're also transporting now, by the way, which I think is awesome. But they came to us and they had that same problem, Kevin. They're getting worn out. They're getting held over. And a lot of those firefighters are young kids, young men and women. That have children that are a lot younger than you and I, and they're missing a lot of their stuff that's going on. Well, they came to us and they wanted a 10% raise, not even the 15 that we gave the police officers last year. They wanted a 10%. And we thought we could get 5% done, which would have been about $2.5 million. And we voted on it as a council, and we voted not to give them that 5% raise. Now, I voted to give it to them.
What's the rationale? I mean, what is
I
something?
don't know the answer to that. I never got an answer to that, and that goes. I think that goes to the exact statement you said. That sometimes people assume, or you hear that the administration does not give a rip about the police officers or what have you. Well, my opinion is we just spit in the face of the firefighters by not giving them a 5% raise when for forever, right, wrong, or indifferent, they've gone hand in hand with the police department. And I just told you we'd probably put $40 to $50 million in a project account of fallout money out of the budget, and we didn't give them $2.5 million. And that's nobody's money but the city of Montgomery's. That's taxpayers' money. That's they elect us to take care of the city, and until we take care of our employees and give a rip about our employees, our city's not going to change. It starts with our employees, and we've got some of the best, but we need to take care of them and show them that we care about them.
Okay. What is I'm hearing about a civic center?
The rumor is, and nobody knows for sure.
Okay.
They're looking at the city is looking at possibly building a civic center, a big Coliseum type thing for special events downtown, close to the Renaissance and close to Embassy Suites.
Well, it sounds like a good idea once we got everything else squared away.
Well, I think you're exactly right. If your house is in order and your backyard is cut and looks good, then I think we do. But I think, you look around our city, we've got roads that are not paved. We've got 911 calls that are not being answered. We've got low police officers, and, we've got to find them. We've got sanitation problems by not being staffed correctly, and still got stuff on the curb during the week while we went up $5 on your garbage fees. So we've got our own issues.
Wait a minute. Whoa, time out. Y'all done going $5 up on the garbage fees?
Oh Lord, did you not know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you got to start paying attention to council meeting. I voted against it, but it passed, and it's been, I don't know if they've started, I think they started collecting it, Kevin. But I think it was, and I can't remember what I did yesterday, but I think it was passed a couple of months ago, and it was on the agenda, and it was advertised and all that good stuff.
Okay. So I jumped on somebody the other day because now is the water, okay. Does the water bill include that money?
That is correct.
Okay, because I jumped on somebody's tail the other day. Man, why are these things going up? Y'all using too much water. We're going to cut the water off. But now
sanitation's in there. We give them a percentage, and it's a low percentage. I think it's a 1 or 2 or 3%. But they get a percentage of what they collect for us, and then they collect it and then give it to us, give it to the city.
Okay, so y'all not pumping any more water than you normally pump?
No, sir.
So why did the bill go up?
You'll have to ask some people that voted for it.
Okay.
They said issues with maintenance of trucks. We had to build another cell. But I didn't vote for that.
Okay, so you're looking out for us.
Trying to.
Yeah. Okay. Before we leave, our biggest problem right now is police.
Correct.
What do you suggest? I think my suggestion about bringing retired police officers on as warrant officers is a fantastic idea.
Kevin, if you want to go down there, we'll give you a badge and a gun. Listen, I'm going. You can show up in a Speedo and just, but we've got to have bodies, and I think you get part-time, full-time, half-time, whatever you want to get. We need them, but I think, and you heard Chief Grayboy say we're not going to rest until we find them. I'm serious, Kevin. I think you take the gloves off and you go back and you take back our city, because I think we have a very big issue. And even if there's not, perception is everything, right? And the perception of our city is not a safe city right now. And I think you do everything you can to take it back. And what's that old saying? If you shoot at us, we're going to shoot at you. If you put your hands on us, we're going to put our hands on you. But if you respect us, we're going to respect you as well. So there's ways to do it, but we go take it back. We go let those guys ride in that truck, that rock team, and you let them go. And
you do.
And that's, look, Kevin, we were growing up. There's no difference than when we were growing up, right? The cookie jar on the counter. You would continue to get that cookie, and your mother would say, "Kevin, don't get that cookie."
That's
and
right.
you were like, "All right, Mom." And 2 minutes later, you stick your hand in the cookie.
Yeah.
And until she pulled the
Axe
hand
you.
down and
That's
went
right.
back, you know what?
Yeah.
You continue to do it.
Yeah.
That's human nature. So, let's support them, and let's let them be police officers. And I think people would appreciate that.
Now, let me ask you the most political question that you're not going to answer, but I'm going to ask.
I'm not worried about no dogs in yards or liquor license.
No.
Oh.
No. It seems to me, being a middle management guy in the military, the skills of leadership are the same whether you're leading troops, you're leading a city, you're leading a state or a country.
That's correct.
Is there, it seems to me, that's what people are telling me, that the city council is at odds with the mayor often. Is there any rumor to that? Because it's got to be, our biggest problem has got to be between you two guys, the city council and the mayor. Because if the sheriff can get people on a waiting list that want to come on the sheriff's department, then why can't we get people on a waiting list that want to join the Montgomery Police Department? So is it leadership?
Don't
give me the BS now. Don't give me the BS.
Look, what's that old saying, Kevin? You don't have to be a brain surgeon to run a hospital, right? You just got to be able to surround yourself with people that are
good enough people. Right.
And, I don't know there's probably a whole host of reasons. And, that's probably a question for somebody else. But I think we need to do
But you do have your thoughts on it.
No, I mean, listen, I don't agree. Listen, I don't agree with everything that Mayor Bright did. I don't agree with everything Todd did. And I don't agree with everything that Stephen does or Mayor Reed does. I mean, that's politics. That's the great thing about politics.
Well, do you agree with everything that Pruitt does?
No, hell no, I don't. Neither does my wife.
Then why does he do it?
I don't know. That's a great question.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Police review board. I think we need one, not to tell the police what to do, not to be in management, but we need one as a liaison between City Hall and the people. What say you?
You know what I say. I've been against it from day one. I'm against it today. I think we have that system set up with the council. I think we have that system set up with public safety. We just sat here and talked about, how difficult it is to get police officers, right? And how, you have heard through the grapevine that administration sometimes doesn't back them up. And that is one.
And that's all leadership.
Well, that is one of the things, Kevin, you're sitting here saying today that, all this stuff, we need to let them be police officers and pay them. But by the way, we're not going to trust you to do your job. We're not going to trust you to do the process. And, Kevin, I don't remember the last time. Well, I guess I do. The AC Smith or whatever it was, that scenario. But I think overall our police department has done a hell of a job, and it's just something I think would kill morale. I don't think would be good for the Montgomery Police Department. So that's where I'm at, and I've always been against that.
Okay, then. Well, one of the complaints is that a lot of officers tell me that they don't feel like they are the people back them, the leadership backs them, and all the way from the mayor's office to their office, they don't feel as though the mayor's got their back. I mean, that's the problem.
That's a question you can ask the mayor. And I'm not. I do know the mayor is very concerned about the crime and stuff that's going on in the city, but you'd have to ask him. And I feel confident he'll tell you absolutely he does. But I mean, that'd be a question you need to ask the mayor.
Mm-hmm. Listen, you ought to be a politician.
Why? Why?
Because you guys act like somebody cut your nuts off.
No,
you can't answer a direct question with a direct. I love you, but you know. And let me ask, when is the last time you guys, all the city council and the mayor, went out to lunch together? When the last time you guys sat down and really had a heart-to-heart talk about you guys' relationship?
Some of them did. Now, some of them did get to go to the Biscuits game, and I couldn't because I was staying with my mother. And as you know, Kevin, I mean, man,
I ain't talking about at a Biscuits game. I'm talking about in a room, lock the door. Let's keep the media out. Let's talk about what we need to talk about. Because there is some.
You've got sunshine laws though too, Kev, that you can't get together and we're not breaking the sunshine law.
Oh no! I'm just,
no, I'm serious. But listen, okay. I mean,
but I thought you couldn't discuss legal things. Because what if all y'all show up at a Biscuits game?
Yeah, I guess maybe it is that legal. I'd have to ask our attorney and answer that question for you. But look, everybody has their thoughts and their opinions on how to run the city and what to do. That's the great thing about politics. Mm-hmm. We don't always have to agree on everything. Everybody, Kevin, wants to get to that one particular point in life, right? We just got different directions we want to go.
Okay.
If me and you going to the beach, you may want to go down through Troy. I may want to go down through, Greenville that way. I mean, right. So, we all want the same things. We just got different ways of trying to get there.
Okay. Well, I heard Scott Beeson say the other day something. He said, liberals are most of the time right about the things they say are wrong. Where they are wrong is the thing they want us to do to remedy it.
Yeah.
Fix it. Okay. So they're in line. So everybody's right. Everybody's a little right and everybody's a little wrong. When's the last time you've been in the phone booth with the mayor?
At council meetings. Sometimes it gets real small in there with he and I.
Gotcha.
And we can agree to disagree.
Okay. Well, listen, it was good talking to you today, Councilman Pruitt.
Hey, great talking to you. And listen, I wanted to share this with you and would love for you to come. We are, and I'll text you, we are very close to having the groundbreaking over at the new community center in Carriage Hills, the Courtney Harmon Community Center.
Okay.
It should be in the next week or two, and would love for you to come and love for your listeners to come. It's been a long time coming on that thing.
Let me know. That was named after your daughter who left way too early as a child and of cancer, right?
Yeah, and and I'm gonna leave you on this. The greatest country in the world, Kevin, and we don't take care of our homeless, don't take care of our vets. College isn't affordable for everybody. I did see where Trump and them are trying to do something for cancer, but we can't find a cure for cancer. And now taking care of my mother, let's throw in senior health care costs. If you're not rich, you can't afford to die. I mean, it's sad. I mean, I tell you,
y'all keep taking the garbage bill up.
I'll see if I can't get you that $5 back. But
okay, some kind of way. All right, appreciate it, there.
See you, brother. Thank you.
Right, bye-bye. Well. Well, hey, you heard it from him. Man, my time is almost up. My time is up, as a matter of fact. But I'll replay this later on tonight for those who missed it. And I'll be working on this phone thing. I'm going to be working on it today. I'm going to see if I can. Uh, 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 I'm going to see if I can get it fixed. How is the mayor concerned about crime when he denies there's any crime? Did you hear him say how safe the city is? Well, I guess the way you see things depends on where you sit. If you live in a gated community like Wind Lakes, out there in Sturbridge, place like that, you don't have much crime. The question is, why not? Why doesn't Millbrook have the same crime we have? Problem. I know it's a smaller city, but they can still do the same thing. Why doesn't Prattville have the same crime we have, the much crime as we have? Proportionately, I'm talking about proportionately now. But so why don't some of these places have the same things that we have? There's a lot going on here, and I don't know, but I hope they find out who did all that shooting this weekend. And 3 souls have gone, and 22 other souls could have been gone. So we need to find out who did what, why they did it, and make sure they don't get out of jail for a long time to do it again. All right. So I hope they got some of this stuff on video and all that kind of thing. So anyway, I'll try to fix the phone thing tomorrow. Okay, I'm letting y'all know I'm trying to fix the phone thing. I'm working on it. Okay? Y'all just got to cut me some slack here. I'm trying to get it done, baby. Hey, Teddy, how you doing, sir? John, Willie, Camila, Shamika, Greg, David, and Pam. Thank you guys for joining. Nothing is going on in Millbrook or Prattville. People come to where the action is. It ain't coming here that worries them. It's will they be able to leave? I think I'll just leave that right there and call it a day. Okay. Okay. We'll just call that a day. And again, it's time for me to go on my very way. But, just remember, it is not the falling down that gives us strength, but it is the getting up every time we do. So, y'all have a great day, and hopefully, I'll see you. Okay? So, have a great good afternoon or morning, whatever. It is 9:02 in the morning on this Monday morning. Thank you for joining me. See you later. Have a good day.